Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Derek. Welcome to my channel. We're also on Patreon, and we have a Facebook group. Links in the description. So I wanted to, today, for this video, go to my channel's community board. Something else you can check out because I post pictures there and polls. So today, I would like to go over the polls that I've posted, give you not only the winners and the percentages of the votes, but then give you my vote and then the reason behind it. So I'm going to go to the community board on my phone. So I'm going to breeze over what the polls were, go back, and then talk through them. So the first one was asking you, ketchup on a hot dog, question mark. You had yes, no, or illegal. Those are the answers, or the things to choose from. The next one was, of these four music genres, which is your favorite? It's rock, country, blues, jazz, or none of the above. The next one, favorite season. I think you all know the seasons. And then the last one, which was kind of polarizing in a way. Which would you rather be? Would you rather be lied to or punched in the face? After reading those comments, I was like, oh, wow, I think I might have kind of weirded people out with that one. So, all right, ketchup on a hot dog. Yes, got 59%. No, got 27%. And illegal got 14%. Mine is illegal, and that's just my dry sense of humor because as I've gotten older, ketchup's not allowed on hot dogs. And it's been a debate between me and some friends often. And really, the biggest debate is between me and my daughter, Skylar. She was like, ketchup, yes, of course ketchup belongs on a hot dog. And you know what? When I was her age, I used to have ketchup on my hot dog too. But as I've grown older, all I need is mustard and relish, and I'm good. Maybe some celery salt. And I know that's probably strange to a lot of people, but that's all I need, especially if it's like a brat or some kind of sausage. Really, if I only had to choose one thing to go on a hot dog, mustard. And then I'm good. But I was shocked to see the majority, 59%, be yes. So to each his own. But I prefer perfect hot dog for me, mustard, relish, celery salt. Good to go. The next one was, of the four music genres, which one is your favorite? Now, this wasn't a surprise. The majority went to rock at 47%. Number two, again, not a big surprise, 31% for country. So those are the genres. I would think country nowadays would be closer to rock, because country has gone that way anyway. Now it's actually more towards pop, but blues was the least at 5%, jazz at 6%, and then none of the above at 11%. So mine definitely falls into rock. I had to play a lot of country, and almost all of it's fun to play. Especially the old school stuff like Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash and all the old school stuff's fun. But the 90s country is the funnest for me. This just good old swing style country. And then the modern country, I would say late 2005 to 2015 country. Where it's really started getting a little more harder edge and more rocking. That stuff was fun to play too. The current country, it's like it sounds like wallpaper to me, and it's just not my bag. So I don't listen to country anyway. For pleasure, I don't listen to country. But there's moments of certain eras of country that I do enjoy playing. Rock, I love playing, but that's what I listen to the most, especially the harder stuff. My favorite band is Metallica. My number one. Number three is Slipknot. And yes, I have this weird top five. It's really just four that I know that belong in a certain place. Metallica is one, Beatles number two, Slipknot three, and then Kings of Leon four. So all rock. Two of the four are really heavy. And then Kings of Leon has an edge to them. They can be heavy, but they're also just great songwriters. And I just love all the stuff they put out. I love the musicianship, the melodies. They're original. They're very creative. They're different, and I love them. And of course, the Beatles. Metallica is over the Beatles just because Metallica is what I started playing guitar for. And I don't know. James Hetfield is like my idol. If I had one, you know, God love God love the Het, right? So rock is definitely mine. Blues and jazz. Here's the thing with blues and jazz for me, or really any genre that's really specific, like it has its sound. You got blues, it's its thing. You can put in a little rock in there, but if you're talking about like traditional blues, it's very niche, right? Then you get jazz, reggae, of course you got polka. God, you can go on and on to find these really niche styles of music that I can appreciate, I can listen to in appreciation, but it all starts sounding the same to me. If I go to a club and I'm watching a blues band, I'm good after a couple songs. After three really long guitar solos over the same three blues chords, I'm good. I appreciate it. I know there's sometimes a lot of soul in the blues, but I can't listen to it all night. Same with jazz. Jazz has so many different levels to it that if we're talking just straight up jazz, like improv jazz, that's still interesting to me because you don't know where they're going to go. But I watched the jazz history biography by Ken Burns called Jazz. If you're not familiar with Ken Burns, he works with PBS, and he does amazing documentaries, like epic 10 episode biopics of jazz, baseball, World War II, the Vietnam War, all these great documentaries. And he did one on jazz, and it was very interesting because it just goes from the very beginning, which is back in Louisiana, New Orleans area. That's really where it started, and all the different eras it went through. And I like the big band era. That's very fun to me. It's just high energy. When it got into the more avant-garde, like bebop and all that stuff, again, I appreciate it, but it's just not something that I can listen to all day. But then you get now more modern, like jazz fusion, high-end technical, mathematical music that, again, I can appreciate, get into, but when I'm driving down the highway to Nashville to go visit some friends, it's usually Slipknot or Metallica or Kings of Leon. So there's my take on that. The next poll was favorite season. Number one was fall at 60%. Number two was spring at 24%. Summer at 11%. And winter at 5%. It's hard for me to choose one. Winter's my least favorite, straight up. Especially when I lived in Maine. When I was a kid, of course, I loved the snow and playing in the snow and playing on these big snowbanks when we'd get a fresh storm and the plows would like plow up a parking lot. And then for the next week or so, there'd be these massive mountains of snow that would later be cleaned up. But you always, for a little while, had these mountains to climb up. We used to play King of the Mountain. So you stand on the top if you're the king for that round, and anyone that's coming up, you just push them down the hill. It's very, very pleasant game until they take over and throw you off. Now they're the king, and you got to get back up and claim your spot. But when I started driving, I got a car, grew up, had to go to work, and I'm over it. I got over it really quickly. And I just don't like cold weather. So even down here in the South, it can get cold. We have 30-degree days. We can have these weird cold snaps, and pretty consistently. And I don't like it. I just don't. Now, I love the summer because I love heat. I love hotter weather. So I fit down in the South. But, man, much like winter in Maine, that it just feels like it just goes on forever. It's like just feels like it's the majority of the year. And it's just like, when is it going to warm up? When is it going to stop snowing? Well, down here, it's 100 degrees plus with a heat index every day for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And usually it's sometime around September that things start kind of going down. But then you'll have a little spike here and there, and it's back to 100 degrees. But I look forward to summer, but then at this point, I'm ready for it to end. And then fall here is amazing. Fall in the South is just, it brings it down to that mid 70s, maybe high 60s. And it's just, and then you incorporate the little bit of humidity that we always have down here in that time of year. There's always humidity, and it just makes it just nice, and it's perfect. And it's that way for a couple months. So I would have to say, by living in the South, it's fall. And sometimes it doesn't even feel like we have a spring. It's sometimes it's just like overnight, summer's here. It goes from one extreme to the next, and then it's just hot every day. And the last one was actually kind of cryptic. It's, which would you rather be, lied to or punched in the face? And the majority, I feel, is definitely where I land. 68% said punched in the face. 32% said lied to. Now, this is like a, would you rather? You're supposed to answer one. And neither side is great. We can all agree that, yes, lying is awful, but none of us want to get punched in the face. We can all agree to that. That's not fun. But you have to choose one. But I got a lot that said neither. They both hurt. They're both painful. And I agree. Like I just said, no one wants either of them. But if you have to choose one, at least in my eyes, in my opinion, I feel like I'd rather get punched in the face. Now, let's preface this with, we're talking about, a solid punch. We're not talking about brass knuckles from Mike Tyson punch, right? a punch that hurts doesn't necessarily break your jaw or rattle your nose. It's a punch that will hurt for a week or so. You might have a bruise, but it goes away. The pain goes away. There's nothing left. There's no scars left. It's just, you might still be angry to the person that did it to you, but the pain goes away. A lie can hurt for life. Trust in my book is the most important thing in life, above love, because without trust, then the level of which you can love someone or something, in my book, again, this is my opinion, is diminished. You can still love someone, but man, as soon as you lose a tiny bit of trust of someone, man, it's there forever. It's like you can forgive and you can move forward with it, but it's always there. But if someone really lies to you and it affects you and it hurts your soul, that can stay with you forever. To me, at least, it could be always painful. If it's hard to move away from, even after forgiving someone, it's always there. So that was my take on the lying part. Basically, the pain of a punch goes away, but a good lie can scar your soul for life, in my opinion. So, well, there you go. This is something I want to do more of. I'm going to be posting more polls on my community board, and some pictures here and there. But I'm also be posting pictures on our Facebook group. Again, link in description. And I want to ramp up more just obscure videos on there where I'm out and about, If you're listening to this around post day, if you go there now, I went to the Hernando High School football game and took one picture of the field and then a quick video of the high school band. And it didn't serve the experience justice. I'll just say that. The high school band is an award-winning Class 1 high school band in this area. And I've never seen a band like it. It's not just a bunch of horns. It's horns and xylophones and timpanis and keyboards. And they had to bring out a gong. It was this massive band. And they're just unique. I've never seen a marching band like that. It's definitely in the high school level. But so yeah, check us out there. And then on Patreon, if you want to help support, we do have a $1 tier that helps support, the content I put out on Facebook group, and just to support here if you feel like you would like to. I would appreciate it. All right, guys, thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon.